Hello, beautiful people. It is the Black Wallet over here, where we have conversations that will help us grow personal, ensuring that we are able to pass on a legacy in terms of finances, knowledge, and wisdom. Everything related to wealth creation, enhancing a legacy. If that makes sense, yes, we're on that journey. So yes, do consider subscribing if you're a new subscriber, and an old subscriber, yes, let's like, share, and let's just grow this community together. We had 500 and something subscribers, so our desire is to get this to as many people as possible. One of the freedoms of Africans, we say, is independence. Well, that independence becomes dangerous if we don't know what we want to achieve out of it. A trend that has been going on for some time now is people quitting their jobs. People are even getting to the extent of confusion of whether or not I need the job, myself inclusive. I was at that verge as well. People are really in the freedom thoughts. Freedom is mine. Freedom is mine. I need to do my own thing. I want to be in control of everything that I do. So you get to a point and question, is a job necessary if I can start up my own business? Having a job will really prepare you for so many things depending on your goal or your current financial income. The necessity of having a job is really dependent on other alternative income sources, your goals as an individual, and what you want to achieve at the end of your life. It's good if you want to take a leap of faith and start up your own business. It's good if maybe your workspace is not really your passion anymore and you want to pursue other things. But in this video, I basically want to change a perspective, especially for individuals who just dive into it. I'm just going to get started with my own entrepreneurship journey. Forget the job. I never want to work for someone. There are so many important key aspects that are going to help you in a job that should never be ignored. I would prefer you go and start a job and prepare your entrepreneurship journey, really with the mindset of wanting to learn the system, wanting to understand how an organization is formed, because even a business needs to have a structure. You need your HR, you need to understand the accounting system, you need to manage yourself. And I think it's important that you are in a job, because that's one aspect we are taught, how to manage yourself. You be on time, manage the resources that are given to you, manage your workflow, which is a necessity for your business as a startup. Where are you going to get that discipline if you haven't even trained it? So managing that system in a job really will prepare you as an individual. It's something that you should look forward to, managing self, and you learn that through reporting to someone. You learn that through being under an authority. The attitude you would have had while working for someone is going to be a routine that you can easily adopt to while working for yourself. I know of a lady, actually, I call her my aunt, but I'm absolutely not related to her. Anyway, culture calls for that as Africans, but I love to call her aunt because, look, she's working as a teacher for a school and she owns her own school. And she's using everything she's learning in that institution and making it better in her space. It's not conflict of interest. There are jobs that allow you to do that, but it's really a training ground for you. And you really have to be clear also according to your job description, though. If it's conflicting in your interests, then of course you shouldn't do that. But then you really can learn a lot from having a job. And I think it's necessary that you work before you start up as an entrepreneur if you have the opportunity. That's where you're really going to learn systems. Nzingamelu, Zambian CEO of Absa Bank, used to work for McDonald's in the UK. And even in her book, she made mention to say most of the sales skills she has now, she learns them from McDonald's, not even in school. So aside the school aspect, which I feel is in the setup of theory, the practical side is really on a job on training. Having a job gives you a steady income, an income you expect at the end of the month that gives you enough time to plan. It gives you enough time to lay out your priorities in terms of financial obligations, your investments. It really gives you a chance to lay out where your money goes. As an entrepreneur, the inflow is really dependent on your sales. What happens if COVID hit? If you are working, for example, and maybe you're working remotely, you still have to get paid. If you are working, even though maybe the company didn't earn as much, they are obligated to pay you. That becomes your advantage because you are guaranteed a fixed amount of money at the end of the month. That gives you room to plan for your finances, where you're investing it, what other business maybe you might want to start, what other property you might want to buy, which really helps your financial flow. An entrepreneur, like I said, you have to be ready. Income is really dependent on your sales. It alternates. Is it in season, out of season? Maybe your sales go up, your sales go down, your expenses go up. All those things have to be factored in. And the fact that you have a steady job helps you have a backup plan. So mostly people call it a side hustle. You can be working and you have your side hustle there until you feel your business is generating much income, then you can decide to quit. Jobs also offer you benefits that a business won't offer you. The security in knowing that your job is paying for certain benefits, your insurance, for example, your medicals, your housing, if you have a car, company car, all that is taken care of. Whereas an entrepreneur, you don't get those benefits. So you really can leverage on the benefits that your job is providing for you. And I must say, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Most of us take the risk because you feel everybody is doing it. Let me do it. You don't have to be the CEO if you own a company. If you are the founder of the company, you can delegate to someone to run it. So like I gave the example of the lady who owns a school. You have to get to a point where you understand the benefits of both sides. You are learning something from where you are at and you can apply it in your business. So yes, understand the benefits that you get from your job. And it does give you lots of benefits. So don't quit yet until you are steady and enjoy the benefits that you can leverage on now. A job is necessary because it then also helps you understand the market, understand the network of the business. Whatever job you have now, you can leverage on the networks you create. You can leverage on the relationships you have with your co-workers. Who knows, maybe your supervisor in that institution moves and start up their own business, and they can be able to bring you on board because they've seen maybe how you've been dedicated, how you've worked. So you being in a job is necessary to also build that network. Are you a salesperson? Maybe you are required to go in the field. That's where you get people's contacts, and outside work, they can be able to remember you for maybe that particular work, recommend you to other jobs. So a job is necessary because it gives you the opportunity to network. It gives you the opportunity to meet people, to socialize, to interact, and at the same time learn perspectives that you wouldn't if you were just a startup alone. You are learning how people behave. You are learning how a certain business works. You are learning the structure that I talked about through the networking you create with people. Working in a job also helps you sharpen your skill, personal development, and on a professional level, it really does enhance your skill. Don't look down on whatever job you are doing. Maybe, unfortunately, you are in a job that you don't want to do, but you need to earn money out of it. You need to look at it from a different perspective and learn skill. I would tell you, I probably have said this, I taught English as a foreign language teacher in China. And my priority then when I was working for it was I was raising money for a business, raising resources for what I wanted to pursue. Fine, I'm a civil engineer, but I took a detour so that I could be able to raise funds for what I wanted to achieve. And most of the lessons I learned while working as a teacher are things that I apply to my business, because I learned how my supervisors used to behave. I learned how the system of the school worked, the technology, how it was able to be run by a foreigner, because the founder of the school was from Israel, but she was running her business across the continent, actually. In Asia, she's big in Israel. And most of those things that I learned are things that I am able to even apply in my professional career. So never look down on, I'm taking this job just for money and it ends there. What can you learn from it that can enhance your CV? Because even if I'm to engage in a particular training, I have proof to say, oh, I have a diploma in teaching language as a foreign, and teaching English as a foreign language, and I acquired ABCD skills, communication skills. I know this much about management. It really comes down to what are you learning from the institution you are in that can enhance your career, that can enhance your journey as an individual and help you develop. There's a term I learned, it's called PET, personal emotional trainers. So every institution, whether you feel it was good or bad, has people that surround you just to train your emotions as an individual. And guess what? Out of that, you're going to develop a certain set of skills in communication, on how to deal with difficult people, clients, for example, that even if you decide, I'm going to quit my job and start up my own business, you're able to apply to your job. Last but not the least, in your workspace where you're working now is an exposure to different perspective of gender, perspective of culture, perspective of profession. And if you are able to leverage on that training, consider it a training. That is, if you want to take a leap of faith and start up your own thing, and if you want to also ladder up in your career, that is still a training ground for you. And most of us, especially in the now, we are pushed to the social media, and everyone is an entrepreneur. You see somebody has started up something without even going to school, straight from university. I'm starting up this, without even going to work, rather. Straight from university, I'm going to start my own business. Straight from this, I've got the skill. But the perspective you would get, the understanding you would get if you worked in an environment, you worked for an institution, you worked for an organization, is on a whole different level. And we shouldn't, because of the new trends, really shy away from that aspect. There are several people who've been able to be successful as entrepreneurs because they worked under an institution and they were able to see things differently. They were able to navigate their path of choice differently because they were in an institution and they had a different perspective of how things work, how systems work, how you can enhance your skill. Those are perspective, how you relate and work with people. So I hope this video really has been helpful and really to guide you that in the decisions we make, they can affect us, they can affect our mental health, they can affect everything that is related to our well-being. It's important that you don't make decisions out of the norm because everybody is doing it. Everyone is making the decision to start up entrepreneurship. Are you really called to be an entrepreneur, or are you doing it out of peer pressure? Maybe you thrive better in a job. Maybe you thrive better to work under somebody. It's really important that you know who you are. You find your identity before you make that decision. And I believe working really helps you analyze and see things differently. So before you jump into the decision that I want to start up my own business, have a checklist, speak to different people, have the best maybe counseling, speak to a coach in that particular area so that they can analyze everything with you and you're not making a rushed decision. So yes, this video has been on my heart because I've been in those shoes, like I said, where I just felt, okay, when do I know when to leave? Is it necessary I work? If this business is earning me this much, why am I still here? But at the end of the day, I really believe I also want to develop as an individual, and I can learn so much from people. Yeah, I hope this video was useful for you and it really will guide you into making the right decision. Let's not make decisions quick because they are trending. Let's make decisions wise.